Wow.
Building the great Texas auction house. After 40 years at Boardwalk Street, Vogt Auction Galleries is moving to a brand new, custom-built auction facility on Blanco Road just north of Loop 410 in north central San Antonio, Texas. We're building a modern auction house, twice as big as the old one.
Well, I was stationed in Europe when I was in the Army and was exposed to a lot of them, and didn't really think about having that kind of thing at my business. But when I got back to the States, I started going to antique auctions in Dallas, and eventually thought, you know, there might be a niche somewhere in the state of Texas for me. So that's kind of where it started.
Personal. Always, everybody knew everybody's name. Mm-hmm. Everybody, yeah. And Gene especially. As you walked in the door, he'd always say, well, hi, Cheryl, or hi, Jen, you're late again. You know, always very personal.
I've known him since the beginning, 1975, I think. I think I met Gene at his old auction place, and me and him unloaded the first containers.
We had a few tough years to start with, for sure. And we were down to our last 20,000 actually when things started turning.
In 1978, in an auction room in Dallas, where the auctioneer took me into his office and introduced me to this guy from San Antonio who also ran an auction room. That was a very lucky day for our business.
Yep, they furnished a lot of houses in this town.
He was the first one to bring containers to San Antonio, I think.
To the auctions, when it was always on Tuesday nights, and Gene was the only guy there with the Bruce brothers.
That was, yeah.
We met Gene when I was 13 and Martin was 15. My mom took us to the auction, and she was taking us to auctions since the 1970s. We went to Moore auction in Corpus Christi. Yep. And I remember that well, and then we came in to meet Gene, and within 2 weeks we were working there. You know, best setup as far as anybody in the state of quickly turning over containers and selling them as quickly as we could with, you know, as much efficiency as we could, because no one was keeping up with that pace.
At that time I had a space on the Austin Highway selling antique. Austin Highway Flea Market. And I used to buy stuff from Gene and sell it over there.
Yeah, it was always family.
The antique dealer family.
Yeah.
All of us.
I mean, and predominantly dealers went there.
Yeah.
It was very
totally
little
different from
local
now.
business. It was dealers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All us weirdos.
You know, the place was packed. You know, granted it was small, but you know, we didn't have online. You know, I don't even think we had computers back then. You know, I mean,
No, we did triplicate form copy. There was no computer system.
Right. So the auctions were packed with people, and you know, the atmosphere was great. And
You know, people that buy things from us are very, very happy. They think they got a really good deal, and they did.
How many pieces would you say you think you have in your house? Yeah, it's hard to count. Probably at least 10 to 15. Yeah, big and small.
Through the decades, we would buy the classics from you. And there's a piece over here that's really nice. It's black silk. It's Herman Miller. And those things, you can't just go to a store.
If you have a knowledgeable sellers and knowledgeable buyers, and you were transparent and were straight, I thought that was really, really a good concept.
Awesome piece of furniture.
It was always a fun place to go, and you never knew what you were going to get. It was just fun.
I have a lot of pieces from Vogt in my house.
Ended up finding way too much. Some paintings, a mirror, and a rug and a couch. And I brought those pieces home and we started to kind of reconfigure the house, and I didn't realize how important they would be. And the mirror that we hung up on this blank wall that I just thought was a nice decorative piece ended up becoming our affirmation mirror, where every time we leave, before we go out the door, we take a moment and we stop and we look and we say one thing that we love about ourselves. So it's really become this hub for our family in an unexpected way that we had no idea was coming into our home.
It spans the globe like a superhighway. It is called Internet.
Well, the internet has made things different. You know, you've been able to reach anybody in the world, and that's where we were only local. So that changed everything.
The online thing changed the whole world.
And when you did that around 2005, it changed our business model.
I think they've done an excellent job. It's gone a long time. They're very successful.
It's a good company, yeah. And they've, stood the test of time. Everybody knows them. And when somebody comes in, I don't know what to do with that, I say, call Vogt.
I feel like it's always been a family, and I can tell it's family owned, but I think even through the modernization and all the technology that they've added to the business, it still feels very welcoming. And then the white glove service of taking it to my car after I won a couch, I was like, oh, I thought I was gonna have to lug this thing out myself or ask someone for help, and they just did it without even asking and loaded it into my car without a scratch, and I really appreciated that.
I'm shocked it's lasted 50 years. I don't, what 1% of businesses last 50 years? The survivorship rate.
Well, we always put the customer first. It was very important to us that they, no matter who they were, that we were going to take good care of you. We were going to make sure you were happy with your purchase. You got taken care of. Everything was done right. Whether or not you were a dealer who spent $100,000 a year, or if you bought 2 or 3 pieces a year, we still wanted you to have the same experience with us.
Come back and buy again.
And do it again.
Yep.
And of course, if you add up all the things that we've touched and sold over the past 40 plus years, that it would affect a lot of people in a lot of ways, from the average customer who comes in with her grandpa now that I remember being, a year old walking in, and now she's in her 30s with her own children.
He came in the other day and said she used to come here as a child, and
right, we
now
do
she has
dealing with
children,
generations of kids and people
she's
that are
still coming back,
Thank you for being part of the Vogt family. We hope to see you at another auction very soon.